Welcome everybody, it's more Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Oh shit, look at that, they added Safeguard to Call of Duty. That is what I'm playing today. By the way, if you guys see my bed moving a little bit, that's because my girlfriend is in there. I have held her hostage. Just kidding, she's robbed my bed. First it was my hoodie, now it's my bed. I can't even fucking sleep in the comfort of my own bed anymore. That's how drastic this has gotten. Ooh, shit, okay, we're playing on, is this Seaside Sunset? This looks fucking beautiful. I like the lighting right now on this map. It actually looks really pretty. So yeah, we're playing some Safeguard. They decided to bring this game mode back from Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which I don't really have a problem with. However, because I am a sniper, I don't really know how clips are going to be usable on this game mode. I remember from Black Ops 3, people just refused to allow Safeguard clips because you couldn't flip spawns and all that stuff, and I don't know if that's the same case here on Black Ops 4, but I would assume so. I mean, it's Treyarch and Activision, they're really lazy. This game is basically a copy and paste of Black Ops 3, just without jetpacks, so are they going to change the spawn system up? Probably not. But hey, I guess it is just a little bit of dumb fun. I probably won't be playing this game mode a lot in my own spare time, but I figured because it's new, might as well just have it in the background of this video. It's kind of a little bit of a throwback to Black Ops 3 because, you know, Safeguard was an exclusive game mode to that game, and it's kind of cool that they brought it back, although I don't know how much people are going to enjoy it. I don't know what the reception is going to be like on it. But I mean, if they're going to bring back anything from Black Ops 3, just please don't allow it to be the supply drop system. I'm sure you guys know, but I still stand by my statement to this day that Black Ops 3 had the worst supply drop system, and we're going to be talking about supply drops today in this video. I know, I had to find a way to link supply drops into the topic of this video. I'm very good with that. But anyway, as you guys know, there are no supply drops in Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which is a pretty good thing. I mean, they kind of still technically are. It's just they're not the traditional supply drop system that we've seen in previous Call of Duties. There are still these things in game called reserve drops. However, they don't really act like supply drops. They have a random chance of giving you anything from a pool of items, but it's a little bit different to supply drops. I'm sure you guys play this game and you know that it is not the exact same, which is completely fine with me. I just don't want supply drops back in Call of Duty, but it might actually be the case that we're not going to be seeing supply drops ever come back to Call of Duty in the same way that we have in previous years. For anybody who doesn't know, the FTC launched an investigation in loot boxes and supply drops and just basically the things we fucking hate in gaming. They launched an investigation to see if there's a link between opening up supply drops and having like an addiction, and how easy it is for kids to access these things, and does it have an addictive nature behind it? Is it gonna make kids want to open up more and more over time? And I think generally most people would agree that supply drops can be very addictive, and a lot of the times they try to simulate slot machines, which is really bad because let's be real here, as much as Call of Duty is an 18-year-old's game, it's still accessed by a lot of kids. A lot of kids still play this game. Fuck, I've been playing Call of Duty ever since I was like 11 years old. It's crazy to think that I've been playing Call of Duty for like 7 years now. How the fuck am I still sane? I don't know, maybe it's because I'm sane, Demio. Haha! Funny jokes. Humor. Because the FTC are launching an investigation into loot boxes, it is very possible that they won't be a thing in Call of Duty anymore, or in fact, just in gaming. Loot boxes have a very large chance of being a thing of the past, which I am, just please, can that be the case? No more loot boxes, I'm sick of this shit. I think the biggest thing I hate about gaming, and it makes me just not like gaming as a whole, just in general anymore, is the fact that every single game these days are doing loot boxes, and they're doing like microtransactions and stuff like that, and that is really killing gaming for me. I just really can't stand it anymore, and I hope to God that there is something done about microtransactions in video games. I mean, if you spend like €100 on a video game like I did for Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I think the idea that you can spend thousands in microtransactions is just ridiculous. And in terms of loot boxes, a lot of the times previously in Call of Duty, they were set up like slot machines. They tried to make it so that it had a very, very addictive trait to them, made it very satisfying to open them, and there was a very small chance that you were going to get exactly what you wanted. In slot machines, the jackpot means that you got a shit ton of money, but with supply drops, the jackpot is getting a weapon, for Call of Duty anyway. When you're opening up supply drops, a lot of the times the rarest items in supply drops are weapons, because they actually change the game, they're not cosmetic, and they purposefully go out of their way to make sure that these weapons have a very small drop rate. I remember with Call of Duty Black Ops 3, at one point there was like a 0.002% chance you would get a weapon from a supply drop, which is just ridiculous. There are people to this day who have spent thousands of dollars on supply drops and haven't gotten every single weapon, which is absolutely ridiculous. That shouldn't be allowed. So I'm extremely happy that the FTC decided to look into this, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that these are going to be made illegal in video games. I think that we can all agree that that everybody hates loot boxes. Loot boxes are probably the worst thing about gaming at this current point in time, and something really needs to be done about them. And while loot boxes might be made illegal in games, I hope that it moves on to microtransactions. Stopping just at loot boxes isn't good enough, because you look at games like Black Ops 4 that have a supply stream like system where you can still spend hundreds of dollars just trying to progress through it. If you're gonna keep it strictly cosmetic, I'm kind of okay for that. I mean, look at Fortnite. It's a free-to-play game. You can purchase like skins and stuff like that, but once they start adding things that actually affect gameplay where you have to spend like a shit ton of money to try and get it, I think that's where the line should be crossed. A lot of people use Fortnite as an example because the way Fortnite does their microtransaction system is a lot more fair. First of all, the game is free, so you can pick up the game and you can enjoy Fortnite Battle Royale without spending a single dollar, which is just fucking fantastic. That's why the game is so successful in the first place, and the way they make their revenue is they have a bunch of skins that look really fucking cool, may I add, behind a paywall. But see, the thing is, they're strictly cosmetic. They are not going to affect gameplay in the slightest. Yeah, they look cool as hell and kids are going to want them, but it's not like if they accidentally purchase these things in game, they're going to spend like thousands of fucking dollars on them. With supply drops, there is no limit to how much money you can spend. However, with these cosmetic items such as skins and stuff like that, maybe you pay about $20 up front and you get exactly what you want, and you can't spend any more. Once you have it, you have it. I think it's a way better system that games should be implementing. And the worst thing about loot boxes isn't necessarily that they're making gaming as a whole worse. It's the fact that you're enticing a bunch of kids to put money into this system that is very clearly unfair. It's encouraging gambling, and if a lot of these kids grow up with these things, they may move on to other forms of gambling. They might start blowing their money at casinos and stuff like that. You don't know how far these things can go. And of course, I get it. Treyarch and Activision and all these gaming companies, they don't give a fuck about these kids' futures. All they care about is making money, and I understand that. They're a business. They're gonna find any sort of way to make money because it's not about ethics here. Companies don't give a fuck about how ethical something is. If it makes money, they're gonna keep it. However, once it gets to the point where it's literally damaging to people's lives and their futures, that's when something really should be done. At the very least, if you're not going to ban supply drops, make it way harder for kids to be able to access supply drops. Because if you're an adult, if you're 18 years old and you decide that you want to put your money towards loot boxes or gambling at the casino, it doesn't fucking matter what type of gambling it is. If you're an adult, you have the choice to do that with your money. If you decide to be stupid with your money after you're an adult and go to the casino and just throw away thousands of dollars, you're just a fucking idiot. But say for example like 12-year-old kids, their brains haven't fully developed. They don't know what is right or wrong fully like an adult would. For a kid, spending hundreds of dollars on supply drops isn't really that big of a deal because they're thinking to themselves, well, I've already spent $100 on the game, so what's the big deal with spending another $100 on the game itself? While an adult would think of that as a pretty bad idea. I mean, I bought Call of Duty Black Ops 4 for €100. I got the season pass or the battle pass, whatever you want to call it. And I'm completely fine with that because it's a set amount that I pay and I get content for the money that I paid. However, with supply drops, I refuse to ever purchase supply drops. I don't like the idea of spending money and not knowing what I'm going to get. If I spend €2 on one supply drop, that is just such an unfair deal for me because I'm spending that money, and while it's a small amount of money, I don't know what I'm getting. I could get something that is fucking awesome. I could get a weapon and that would be great. I'd be very happy. However, majority of the time, 99.999% of the time, you're not going to get anything good and you're just going to end up wasting your money. And this is where that addictive personality starts to come in because people are thinking, well, I didn't get it this time, but if I keep spending more money, maybe eventually I'm going to get what I want. And then it gets into this very destructive personality where you get to the point where you've spent so much money on supply drops that you're thinking to yourself, why should I stop here? I've already spent so much money and I haven't gotten anything yet. I need to spend money until I at least get something. And you might be at thousands of dollars spent by the time you actually get what you want. And then there's the argument that by the time you actually get the weapon, you've already spent thousands of dollars, and once you get one weapon, you get a taste of what it's like to get that reward. It's very hard to break that cycle. You're thinking to yourself, well, maybe I could get a second weapon now. It's extremely addictive. Stuff like this affects adults. Could you imagine kids? It 100% should not be allowed. And while the system we have right now in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is a lot better because you're paying a straight up fee and you know exactly what you're getting, I'm very happy with that system. I think that's a lot better. It's not perfect. I still think a lot of the things are extremely overpriced. However, it is better than supply drops. As much as a lot of us want to say that supply drops were better than this system, I don't really know if that's accurate. Because let's be real here, what would you rather spend money on? Would you rather spend $20 on supply drops, or would you rather spend $20 on a bundle that gives you 2 variants that look cool with a few other like calling cards and emblems? I know what I'd rather spend my money on. The thing with spending $20 on a bundle though is that this bundle isn't really worth the money, but that doesn't necessarily mean that just because it's not worth the money, it's worse than supply drops. With supply drops, you have a chance of getting something good, which entices most people to buy them, but with supply stream content, in the sense that you can spend $20 to get exactly what you want, you have a choice. If it's not worth it to you, you're not going to buy it. If it is worth it to you, you are going to buy it. And at least it's not up to chance at that point. If you decide to buy it and you're happy with it, then you just spent your money on something that has value to you, and that goes to everybody. Everybody spends their own money on things that have value to them. However, generally speaking, 99% of the content in supply drops isn't going to have value to anybody. I mean, who the fuck wants to spend thousands of dollars and just end up getting like camos and calling cards and shit? I think the majority of people aren't okay with spending that money on that type of content. The future is looking really good for gaming. I really hope that the FTC decide to ban supply drops, and hopefully after that we take a good step in the right direction, hopefully trying to crack down on microtransactions. I think there should be a limit to how many microtransactions are allowed to be in video games. But anyway, I've rambled on enough about this topic, and I want to hear your guys' opinion, so leave it in the comment section below. Do you think this is a good change for Call of Duty and just gaming in general? I'm sure a lot of us can agree that it is. But other than that, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. So yeah guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you smack the like button. If you want to stay up to date with my content, please be sure to subscribe. I'll have my last video in the corner. If you haven't checked that out already, definitely make sure to check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.